when a weak mindset evolves into a strong one. Welcome. Evolution the mindset. Remember when we talked about the differences between the two mindsets? No worries, here's a quick reminder. In this blog we use two key terms, a weak mindset and a strong one. What it means is that we look into people and their lives based on their mindset. We look at the differences and signs how to tell the two apart. Now, the one advantage that the weak mindset has is that it has the potential to evolve. We'll discuss what determines that in a moment. Most of it depends on the person. Just as they say, you can't make a horse drink if it doesn't want to. A person needs to want to change first of all, before anything can be done. So that's the starting point. The amount of effort the person is willing to put into it is the second step. However, it is only sad, but fair, to mention that a certain level of a weak mindset can be beyond help. Why? Because it means that the emotional capacity has been maxed out and, unfortunately, the person's maturity is not able to change. Whether or not that is the case can be felt through conversation. Psychology users would be able to tell which level the emotional capacity is at based on the person's way of thinking. In case you are wondering, no, this is not the same as asking questions on a survey. There is a certain way that people interact with one another. Based on that, it can be determined how well developed their emotional maturity is. Now then, let's circle back. In this example, we'll say that our emotional level in question is a weak mindset, but with potential. The way it works is that sometimes people fail to notice certain things because nobody before asked them the right questions. If the weak mindset is able to stop and think for a moment, there is a possibility for the next step. Through the effort of the person and through many conversations, it is possible to help the mindset develop further. However, that takes devotion and willingness. It takes one to want to change and another to want to help achieve it. It's a team effort. It's kind of like the nature versus nurture thing. In some cases, it can be equal parts of both. In other cases, the nurture is not exactly doing a great job. That is one of the reasons how a weak mindset is made, which can be fixable. Of course, it can happen so that the person will be willing to change and quiet eagerly at first, but after a little while nothing happens. Here's why. People sometimes say things they don't truly mean or believe in. It's not exactly the same as lying, it's more like they meant it in that moment as they said it, but not after. The moment passes and so does their conviction. In cases like these, one must look to the action of the person in question, rather than the words spoken. That is usually a dead giveaway for a max capacity maturity. The psychology behind this behavior is quite simple, to be honest. It's all about comfort. Old habits are easier and more comfortable, even if they are destructive. New habits, new way of thinking, change, all require effort, which is hard work. Sometimes people simply don't feel like working that hard and slide back into their comfort zone. Another crucial tell for the emotional maturity max capacity reached is when a person disregards and denies everything they are being told for no other reason other than they don't think so. So keep that in mind. This type of people are like hardcore smokers. Even when diagnosed with cancer, they won't quit. Sometimes it is necessary to accept the hard truth that some people simply cannot be helped. One more thing. It can happen so that sometimes a strong mindset will act like a weak mindset, because most of their interactions are with people who possess a weak mindset. It's kind of like having a dog living with a pack of cats. The puppy may act more or less like a cat, but it does not change the fact that it is a dog still. The same thing happens with the mindset. A young, strong mindset can learn how to think like a weak mindset. The difference between animals and people is that as the strong mindset grows, aka the person, it begins to question certain things in life. This is the first step towards evolution. Once the wheels start turning, the blocks get rearranged and new truths are discovered. Sounds simple, right? Easier said than done. No, it is easy if you are willing. The good thing about emotional maturity, it can be developed at any age, as long as there is room for it and effort. You have reached the end of this post. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned for more, and always remember, mental health is important. Take care.